Good evening, dosto. Good evening, all. So let's begin with today's session. Look at the first question. With reference to Finland, consider the following statements. The first statement says it is located in Northern Europe and shares borders with Norway, Sweden, and Russia. Absolutely correct. Second statement is it is bounded by the Gulf of Finland, Gulf of Bothnia, and Baltic Sea. Again, correct. The third statement says it is a member of both the European Union and NATO. See, recently Finland joined NATO, right? So that is also correct. So all these statements are correct here. Question is, which of these statements given above is oblique are correct? So all these statements are correct here. So D for Delhi should be the correct answer. Look at the explanation why we picked up this question. So there is a strong reason. See, recently both India and Finland have completed 75 years of diplomatic engagement, right? Look at this map. So this is Finland. It forms its border with Sweden, with Norway, with Russia. यहाँ south में Baltic Sea है और यहाँ north में Arctic Ocean, right? चलिए. So look at the question number 2. The CJ-1000 missile has been developed by which of the following country? Correct answer is China. What is the approximate range? It is approximately 2,500 kilometers and it is powered by a scramjet, supersonic combustion ramjet engine, right? Also remember that it's one of its own kind of missile and it is a road mobile hypersonic cruise missile. तो वर्ल्ड में किसी भी कंट्री के पास में इस तरह की मिसाइल नहीं है जो चाइना ने डेवलप किया है यहाँ पे, राइट? अब यहाँ से आप इसको कंपेयर कर सकते हैं. इंडिया में अभी हाल ही में डीआरडीओ ने एक टेस्ट किया था. So DRDO achieves breakthrough in the hypersonic missile development with the long duration scramjet test. तो लगभग 12 मिनट का ये टेस्ट था, राइट? 12 मिनट तक इसको डेमोन्स्ट्रेट किया यहाँ पे डीआरडीओ ने. So do remember this question may come up in your examination, right? चलिए. Now look at the question number 3. So consider the following statements with respect to the Digital Personal Data Protection Act of 2023. See, there's a conflict of interest between this act and the RTI Act of 2005, right? In fact, यहाँ पे जो डिजिटल पर्सनल डेटा प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट 2023 है इसकी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल वैलिडिटी को कोर्ट ऑफ लॉ में चैलेंज किया गया है. ये समय सुप्रीम कोर्ट की कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल बेंच के सामने है, राइट? सो लुक एट द फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट. Section 44(3) of the Digital Personal Data Protection Act of 2023. It amends Section 81J of the RTI Act 2005. Absolutely correct. The second statement is the amendment removes the earlier public interest override, thereby broadening the scope for denial of information relating to the personal data. Again correct, right? So ये अमेंडमेंट था और इस अमेंडमेंट में क्या इंट्रोड्यूस किया गया यहाँ सेकंड स्टेटमेंट में दिया हुआ है. सो विच ऑफ दी स्टेटमेंट्स गिवन अबव इज ऑब्लिक आर करेक्ट? बोथ दी स्टेटमेंट्स आर करेक्ट है. सी फॉर कैलकाटा शुड बी द करेक्ट आंसर, राइट? लुक एट द एक्सप्लेनेशन पार्ट. So the amendment has sparked a constitutional debate because the RTI Act was designed to promote transparency and accountability in the governance, while the DPDP Act it aims to strengthen the data privacy protections. The removal of the public interest override raises concerns about the balancing right to privacy with the right to information, both of which are constitutionally significant values, right? And the matter has been referred to the Constitutional Bench of the Supreme Court of India due to its broader implications for the domestic accountability and the press freedom. याद रखिएगा, when it comes to the right to privacy, so in the Puttaswamy judgment, Supreme Court had ruled that right to privacy is the part and parcel of Article 21, which is right to life and personal liberty, right? Now let's move on to the next question. So look at the question number 4. With reference to the National Commission for the Scheduled Tribes, consider the following statements. The first statement says, it is a constitutional body established under Article 338A of the Constitution of India. Absolutely correct. See, Article 338, it provides the National Commission for Scheduled Caste as a constitutional body. Then Article 338A, it establishes National Commission for Scheduled Tribes. And Article 338B, it establishes National Commission for the Backward Classes as a constitutional body, right? Before the enactment of the 89th Constitutional Amendment Act 2003, there was a joint body called National Commission for Scheduled Castes and Scheduled Tribes. इसको bifurcate किया किसने? 89th Constitutional Amendment Act 2003 ने. और 89th Constitutional Amendment Act 2003 में एक नया आर्टिकल ऐड किया गया यहाँ पे. So Article 338 and Article 338A. So Article 338 किसके लिए है? National Commission for Scheduled Caste, and Article 338A established National Commission for Scheduled Tribes. तो एक designated एक specific यहाँ पे constitutional body को establish कर दिया गया. Plus अगर हम बात करें National Commission for Backward Classes की, so prior to 102nd Constitutional Amendment Act, it was a statutory body, right? Not a constitutional body. So it was a jawless tiger. तो इसको पार्स कहां से मिले? 102nd Constitutional Amendment Act से. And then National Commission for the Backward Classes was set up as a constitutional body under Article 338B. So look at the second statement. So the first statement is correct here. Look at the second statement. It was created after the bifurcation of the erstwhile National Commission for Scheduled Castes and Scheduled Tribes by the 89th Amendment Act of 2003. अभी मैंने explain किया, absolutely correct. The chairperson of the commission holds the rank of the Union Cabinet Minister. Equally correct. So all these statements are correct here. Question is, which of these statements given above is oblique are correct? So all these statements are correct here. D for Delhi should be the correct answer, right? So why we picked up this question? So there is a strong reason. Recently, National Commission for Scheduled Tribes celebrated the the 23rd Foundation Day in New Delhi. So look at the next question, question number 5. With reference to the priority sector lending PSL guidelines 2025, consider the following statements. The first statement says banks are barred from co-lending with the NBFCs to meet the PSL targets. No, that's not correct. There's no such bar. So first statement is incorrect here. Second statement says the PSL target for the small finance banks is 60% of their adjusted net bank credit. That is absolutely correct. ये पहले था 75%. इसको low down करके कर दिया गया 60% in the recent guidelines. The third statement says banks are permitted to treat export credit extended to the agriculture sector as the PSL loans. Again correct. So which of these statements given above is oblique are correct? So 2 and 3 both are correct here, right? So correct answer would be C for Calcutta, right? चलिए look at the explanation part. आप यहाँ देख सकते हैं RBI lowers the priority sector lending targets for the small finance banks to 60% from 75%, right? याद रखिएगा. Now let's move on to the next question. So look at the question number 5. With reference to the classical languages status in India, consider the following statements. The first statement says the original 2005 criteria required that the literary tradition of a language must be original and not borrowed from another speech community. Absolutely correct. The second statement says this requirement of originality was recently dropped before granting classical status to additional languages. Again correct. The third statement is Marathi and Bengali were among the languages recently accorded classical languages status by the Union Cabinet. Also correct. So which of these statements given above is oblique are correct? All these statements are correct here. So D for Delhi should be the correct answer. So look at the explanation. Recently, an article was published in the Hindu. So it says that 5 languages got classical status after original literary tradition norms was dropped. Clear? So the linguistic expert committee discussed and understood that it was very difficult to prove and disprove the original literary tradition as all the ancient languages borrowed from each other, right? So I hope you guys understood कौन सी languages हैं जिनको classical status अभी हाल ही में मिला है. मराठी, बंगाली, असमीज, पाली एंड प्राकृत. पहले से किसको मिला हुआ था? पहले 6 languages को था तमिल, संस्कृत, कन्नड़ा, तेलुगु, मलयालम एंड उड़िया. Right? So now let's move on to the next question, question number 6. With reference to the PM e-Drive scheme, consider the following statements. The first statement says the scheme has a total outlay of 10,900 crore to promote the electric mobility in India. Correct. The second statement is it provides demand incentives for the electric two-wheelers, three-wheelers, ambulances, and trucks. Again correct. The third statement is the scheme focuses exclusively on the private electric vehicles and does not support the public transport infrastructure. No, that's not correct. Equal focus है public और private दोनों ही infrastructure projects में. Recently, an article was published in the Press Information Bureau regarding the PM e-Drive scheme, right? चलिए. See what is happening by promoting the electric vehicles, right? And by promoting the ethanol and biodiesel, what we are doing, we are trying to reduce a dependence on imports. अब अगर imports कम होंगे, import bills कम होंगे, तो इससे क्या कम होगा? आपका current account deficit. Clear? अब ये बात अलग है कि ethanol blended fuel आने के बाद में भी पेट्रोल के प्राइसेस में कोई भी बेनिफिट्स यहाँ पे पब्लिक को एक्सटेंड नहीं किए गए हैं. राइट? सरकार को तो फायदा हो रहा है, लेकिन सरकार ये प्रॉफिट्स जो है, ये बेनिफिट्स, ये पब्लिक को एक्सटेंड नहीं कर रही है, पब्लिक को ट्रांसफर नहीं कर रही है. तो जो एक्सक्यूजेस दिए गए थे कि एथेनॉल ब्लेंडेड फ्यूल की वजह से पेट्रोल के प्राइसेस कम हो जाएंगे, क्लाइमेट चेंज जो है उसको मिटिगेट करने में फायदा मिलेगा, करंट अकाउंट डेफिसिट को कम करने में फायदा मिलेगा, ये सब अपनी जगह है. लेकिन सवाल ये है कि क्या पब्लिक तक के बेनिफिट्स पहुंचे? तो जवाब है नो. Right? याद रखेगा. चलिए. So now let's move on to the next question, question number 7. With reference to the ocean's salinity, consider the following statements. The first statement says the salinity of the water in surface layer of the ocean, it is highest near the equator. No, that's not correct. Equator में तो सबसे ज्यादा precipitation होता है, तो यहाँ पे जहाँ precipitation हो रहा है, जहाँ fresh water आ रहा है, वहाँ पे highest salinity कैसे हो सकती है? So first statement is incorrect here. सबसे ज्यादा आपको salinity देखने मिलेगी subtropical regions में, right? Not in the equator. So first statement is incorrect here. Second statement देखते हैं. The salinity of water in the surface layer of ocean, it is influenced by the balance between the evaporation and precipitation. Absolutely correct. So first statement is incorrect here. Second statement is correct. तो correct answer क्या होगा? D for Delhi should be the correct answer. Statement 1 is incorrect, but the statement number 2 is correct, right? See what happens. Subtropical regions में evaporation बहुत ज्यादा हो रहा है. राइट? अब इवेपोरेशन होने की वजह से, क्योंकि टेम्परेचर ज्यादा है, तो टेम्परेचर की वजह से इवेपोरेशन हो रहा है. इस इवेपोरेशन की वजह से जो फ्रेश वाटर है वो इवेपोरेट हो रहा है, और जो यहाँ पे सॉल्ट कंटेंट है उसका डिसोल्यूशन लेवल जो है वो बढ़ रहा है. किसमें? फ्रेश वाटर में. तो यहाँ पे सैलिनिटी ज्यादा होगी. आई होप यू गाइस अंडरस्टूड. चलिए. सो लुक एट द एक्सप्लेनेशन पार्ट. सबसे ज्यादा सैलिनिटी आपको कहां मिलेगी? सब ट्रॉपिकल रीजन में. सबसे कम पोलर रीजन में. राइट? याद रखिएगा. चलिए. सो लुक एट द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, क्वेश्चन नंबर 8. सो कंसिडर द फॉलोइंग पेयर्स, प्लेट्यू एंड स्टेट. कार्बी आंगलोंग, is it situated in Gujarat? No, it is situated in Assam, right? The second is Bhandir in MP. This is correct. Palamu is in Tripura. No, that's not correct. Palamu is in Jharkhand, right? So how many pairs given above is oblique are correctly matched? So only one. Clear? So A for Ahmedabad should be the correct answer. Karbi Anglong abhi हाल ही में न्यूज में था, वायलेंस हुए यहाँ पे. So याद रखेगा. Look at the question number 9. So consider the following statements regarding the population census in India. Census is a unionless subject under the 7th schedule of the Constitution of India. Absolutely correct. याद रखिएगा, स्टेट सिर्फ सर्वे करवा सकते हैं, सेंसस नहीं. Second statement is the census in India is conducted by the Office of the Registrar General and Census Commissioner under the Ministry of Home Affairs. Absolutely correct. The third statement is the 2027 census. The third statement is the 2027 census. It will include comprehensive caste enumeration for all the individuals for the first time since independence, as approved by the cabinet. Absolutely correct. Why? देखिए, लास्ट कास्ट सेंसस हुआ था 1931 में, लेकिन ये तो कॉलोनियल टाइम पीरियड था, राइट? और इंडिपेंडेंट इंडिया का पहला सेंसस हुआ था 51 एंड 52 में, ये लेकिन कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव कास्ट सेंसस नहीं था, राइट? कास्ट सेंसस जो है दैट इज अ डिफरेंट थिंग. जनरल सेंसस में अभी तक क्या होता है कि जनरल सेंसस दैट इंक्लूड्स द डेटा ऑफ एससीज एंड एसटीज. कास्ट, और यहाँ पे कास्ट एनुमरेशंस एससीज एंड एसटीज के इंक्लूडेड है, बट नॉट द अदर्स. तो जो कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव कास्ट एनुमरेशंस होंगे उसमें एससीज और एसटीज तो शामिल होंगे ही, अदर्स भी शामिल होंगे, जैसे other backward classes, right? So do remember. So which of these statements given above is oblique are correct? All these statements are correct here. D for Delhi should be the correct answer. So look at the explanation part why we picked up this question. So recently the World Population Day was observed on 11th of July. तो 2025 का theme क्या था? ये रहा आपके सामने theme. So do remember the theme, right? And also remember the first non-synchronous population census was conducted in 1872 ड्यूरिंग द colonial era. और फर्स्ट सिंक्रोनस सेंसस कब हुए थे? 1881, राइट? तो फर्स्ट नॉन सिंक्रोनस 1872 एंड फर्स्ट सिंक्रोनाइज्ड 1881. क्लियर? और जो लास्ट कास्ट सेंसस थे, कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव कास्ट एनुमरेशन, कब हुआ था? 1931 में, colonial टाइम पीरियड था. सो डू रिमेंबर ऑल दीज फैक्ट्स एंड फिगर्स. चलिए चलते हैं नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन की तरफ. सो लुक एट द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन एंड दिस इज गोइंग टू बी द लास्ट क्वेश्चन ऑफ टुडेस सेशन. कंसीडर द फॉलोइंग विद रेफरेंस टू द क्लैरियन क्लिपर्टन जोन. So Clarion Clipperton Zone, it is a major global focus area for the deep sea mining due to its vast deposits of the polymetallic nodules like cobalt, copper. It is located in Pacific Ocean between Hawaii and Mexico, right? So B for Bombay should be the correct answer. So look at the explanation part why we picked up this question. So there is a strong reason India to seek license to South Pacific Ocean for the critical minerals, right? तो ये आर्टिकल पब्लिश हुआ था डीडी न्यूज में, वहां से हमने इसको पिक किया, उसको हमने कनेक्ट किया. So do remember that this zone, it is a vast plain in the North Pacific Ocean between the Hawaii and the Mexico. It is known to hold large volumes of the polymetallic nodules containing minerals used in the electric vehicles and the solar panels, including manganese, nickel, copper, and cobalt. Clear? It was first discovered in 1873. चलिए, so this was the last question of today's session. दोस्तों प्लीज डू नॉट फॉरगेट टू लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब द चैनल. एंड उम्मीद करता हूं कि आपको ये सेशंस पसंद आ रहे होंगे, हेल्पफुल होंगे आपके लिए. प्लीज अपने फ्रेंड्स एंड अपने कंपेनियंस को उसको जो है शेयर करें, प्रमोट करें. सो थैंक यू वेरी मच. बाय बाय, टेक केयर, जय हिंद.